What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Thursday night's Airbrush Down and Dirty Tricks. We are live. We have sound, it looks like. We have audio, picture, everything's going. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see who we got in the house. We got Chad 9119, Ray Shea, Joe Walker, Brian Moore. Who else we got here? Jonathan Parsons, Todd Kiesley, the studios. Who else we got? Who else? Darren Plank. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Thursday night. I hope everyone's having a tremendous week. Gary Shees, what's going on? Hope everyone's having a good week. It's raining here. A rainy day. It's been a good week overall. Been a busy week, getting some stuff done. Had some good projects. Didn't make any headway on this, really. Did a couple little things, but really about 20 minutes ago. Did a bunch of restoration work. I got a big hood mural project going. Not hood mural, under hood mural that I'm working on. Restored a 20-year-old mini truck. A set of fenders, which was an interesting one to match. Turn your mic up a notch. You can try to do that. Let's see here. Let's get going. We'll go up a little bit more in the levels. Let's see if we get a little louder there. That should be good. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. Let me know. All right, let's see how that is. Is that better? Always fun with live. Let me see if I can hear what that sounds like. Yeah, I'm in the yellow zone. It could probably go down just a little bit. That might be a little too hot because we're getting close to the red. There we go. Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's having a great week. So what are we working on tonight? We are working on part 2 of the Octopus Skull project we started last week. That is this one here. Let's get my reference image up. That's this guy here. And I think I got a bigger reference image somewhere. Yeah, nope, that's the vertical. That's this one. There we go. So this is the reference image we're working from. This was a sketch I did. And this is what we're working at now. Oh, that camera is out of focus and dark. Let me fix that for you guys here. We're going to focus that up. There we go. That's a little better. Is that better? Yeah. Cool. So this is what we got to last week. As you remember, we had all the masking on there, got all the masking done, worked our way out of it, got to this stage, and then I was showing you the eradication with the using isopropyl alcohol and the eraser stick. And something interesting today that has never really been on a show. So obviously the eraser works great. We can go in and pick the highlights like that. What I showed you last week was using isopropyl alcohol to do the eradication. We're getting really nice eradication. But now you notice a week later, London Pen, what's going on? Michael Cohen, welcome. So you noticed last week how easy it was to eradicate, the water-based paint. It was dry, but it was not cured. So this is the difference between being dried and being cured. So now we're a week later, where eradication was easy with isopropyl. Now, oops, my needle's not all the way in. I'm cleaning it out. So now after a week later, which realistically with most of these paints, after like the next day, the illustration stays longer. But so now, as easy as last week, I can't, look at that. I can't get it to push. I'll go direct. This is straight isopropyl, and I'm pushing it. You can almost see how much I'm putting on, and it's barely coming off. That shows you that when paint's cured, see, even isopropyl, which usually would wipe it off, doesn't touch it. So once paint's cured, that's where it's most durable. So most people complain about, the paint is super scratchy and super that. Yeah, for the first illustrations, 24 hours. Wicked stuff for the first 4 to 6 hours. It's dry after it's dry, but it's still curing. So, like I said, I can't eradicate this at all anymore. I mean, I have to really push, and I can still barely get it. See? So that's the difference with water-based. And that's, like I said, that's isopropyl. And I'm rubbing it. and scratching on my nail and it's not coming off. That shows you the durability of water-based paints once it's cured. Okay? A little scratch. Charlotte, what's going on? How we doing? Sorry you missed part 1, but hey, part 1 was all the masking. Now we get to all the fun stuff. All right, so last week we left here. Ensure the colors we got. So we have the cerulean blue, which I mixed up. This is scarlet red. This is a detail orange. We have a detail yellow, which this might, I forget if this is detail or opaque, but this is really thinned down. And then we have the detail violet. So what I want to do right now is I want to get some more orange in TX51 to 10. Is at 300, and I know you're a constant follower, but I don't know that name because it's showing those. So we have TX at 300. Looks good for an old guy. Thanks, man. Thanks for popping in, guys. Cool. Okay, so I want to get some more orange in here, okay? I want to get the purple, but I want to get some more orange in. And I don't want to do a lot of the orange after the purple because it's going to make the orange. Scott is detail Cratex line of paint. Yeah, so there's the Cratex Wicked detail colors versus the opaques. So it's just a different grain. So it's the detail colors a little bit more transparent, a little bit more silkier. So they're not as opaque. So the detail colors are more of a transparent. Okay, so I want to do orange now. Because when you go orange or purple, that's where you get the brown, and you do go the other way too. But the I don't want to. I want to kind of figure this out. I don't want to overpower the purple, and you'll see. Oh, why is this? Did I not clean this? I thought I cleaned this brush out really well. There we go. TX, when you get a chance, just let me know we can work out later who you officially are, since it doesn't tell me your names. I don't like to say changed. I like when we had the nicknames. You could see like Gary and everything else. It was just easier. Okay, so I want the orange to be mainly in the suckers, and you'll see where I erased a lot of them. But this is where I want to really start getting it to be darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosely go in here, and we're going to start adding some orangey texture to everything. Jeff Edwards. Hi, Jeff. And when we get to the end, whoever wins it, Jeff, just reach out to me on one of the socials. So, like, this is where, now they got everything, I can start, adding these details in. And by doing it now, I'm going to start slowly losing that really stencily look. It's also a nice time. Let's see here. I'm going to add a little bit more of the texture. And so for those you've downloaded this project, this is the time where you really can start adding texture to it. Keep it subtle, because I want to transition to purple. If you spray white, then orange, you still get brown. No. If you sprayed white, then orange. No. Well, yeah, only when it goes over the purple, but no, you wouldn't. But the white, you still kind of deal with that blue shift. But like the purple over the orange is different than the orange over the purple. It's just the way the color stacks. I mean, it's subtle, but you just got to be careful. Like this brown and orange complements each other, but natural shading. If you want to do like when you do a tiger, when I used to paint a lot of tigers, I would do all the stripes in orange, and then instead of going black over them, I would take purple and start doing purple over the dark orange, and then you get these really nice, naturally brownish black stripes, as opposed to using blacks. But like, see right here, it's not going to do it yet. It's a little browny, but it's still an orangey tone, so it's just kind of playing around with it. But what's nice is under here, where that purple is, I'm starting to get a nice undershadow to it. And I'm really focusing in on this, because that's the one in the forefront. So this tentacle is the one I'm really focusing on. They always have that little center, which is a little darker. And this is where your freehanding comes in, because I spent all the initial time in structure setting up for the freehand. Mr. Leahy, what's going on, man? Because I use the masking, now I can just focus on details and not structure, because the masking gave me the structure and everything I needed. And when I did this project in Germany, it was all done in the blues and purples. So let me grab that one. Because I got a stack of panels over here. Haven't put back up yet. Where did they... here we go. Panels everywhere. Panels everywhere. Being a scuba diver, this is cool. Oh, nice, man. So this was the original one, and this one is up for sale. So this one, I'm going to do this one at a straight $250 if someone wants this one. If someone wants to buy it, they can either say it here, or you can message me on the side. First one wins. So this one's available. This has already got a matte clear over it. So this one's ready to go. So this was the kind of practice run. This was the initial concept. Cool piece. This one's going to have a lot more to it because I'm spending more time. And I'm obviously doing some more colors. So there are 2 available. Technically, there's a third one, but that was done in class, and we just used it as an example. So it's got a lot more to go. Now, like, if you want to, at this point, if you want to keep things crisper, this is where you could take, like, Pocket Graphics, and I could find some curves like this, and you can make things a little crisper, like that. You know what I mean? If you so choose to. And I am going to utilize these as I go. I want to get some purple, some orangey up around the nose area. And the eyes. I want the purples to be really in the darker areas. And the nice thing with this purple, you notice, is when you go in first, it's very bright. When I stack it, especially with that slight purple, it gets a nice almost like a nice burnt orange tone to it. Well, I want, the orange to really complement the purple. I'll give you 350 for the dark purple. You put a dot there by accident. Oh, Joe, I just found out yesterday. I think I'm going to be going to the Las Vegas Open this year, which would be really, really cool to do some teaching. Yeah, I really love the way that orange is just popping out. I want this to be orange. Because even this orange or purple, see, it's warming it up. So it's not going... If you look really close, it does look a little brownish, but it's a natural brown. Oh, Las Vegas Open is a tabletop gaming tournament for like Warhammer and stuff that also does workshops and classes on painting. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be cool. Just a blown tire. No, so the tire didn't blow. Luckily, it's still holding air. I wouldn't trust it long. The tire's pretty low anyway. I did take a little chunk out of the side of that, curved the rim. It's not a... It's fixable. It just sucks. Yeah, it should be a good time. I've never been to it. So it should be cool. Only been done because it's close, yeah. I'm hoping by then we can go to Varker's vault and see a little bit more progress on it and see what's going on over there. So that'll be really cool. So here's the nice thing about... So I'm using the detail colors, and the detail colors are nice because they're a little on the softer side. I can build it. Mr. Barker, what's going on, man? If you're like, oh, I did, and I had gone to the gas station because I was almost on empty, and I filled it, and I got to put 91, but they only have a 93 octane in mine because of the supercharger and the turbos on it. So at $6 a gallon to fill the tank, and then destroyed the rim and tire. The tires are like on the cheap ends, like $350 a tire, and of course I got to get two of them. Because I needed them anyway this year, so it wasn't like I didn't want to do it this week, but I had to do it this summer anyway because they weren't going to make it. I was starting to get kind of skatey in the rain. Michael Stanton. We're thinking about a Vegas trip this year. Oh yeah, Vegas is good. Vegas is good. I used to go to Vegas way too much, and I got really burnt out on Vegas for a while. I used to be there like 4 to 6 times a year, depending on the year. Sometimes for like 10 days straight. I remember once I was there for 17 days in 1 month. TX, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you, Super Chat. So here's the thing: if we're ever going to do this project, just octopus especially are really they're fun to do. They are more time consuming than you always think. The more tentacles you show, the more you want to get into it, the longer it's going to be. That's a lot of hangovers. Yeah, you get to the point when you're there that much, and we used to go there a lot because for all the different airbrush events and the SEMA show and all that stuff. We really got good at pacing. First night you usually tore it up. Second night you maybe went a little, tried to be a little bit more reserved, so you could have fun the next night. And then the last night you're there with everyone, you got to save up for that because you don't want to do it too early because then you miss out all the fun. So I'm really liking this tone. So this is just the purple. I mean, purple. This is the orange. And I'm still working in those mids. I'm not in the darker tones. I'm leaving plenty of room to make things darker. And I'm not doing every little sucker thing, whatever they're called. I'm working on some of them. But if you do this project and download it, spend as much time here as you want. It's really what you want out of it. So notice right here, I'm going to use this orange to kind of make this shadow. It does go a little brown, but it still has a hint of purple to it. I'm going to add a little bit more texture. And because, I can't erase back to the panel, but I can erase back, because remember at the beginning of it, I said I couldn't really erase anymore because everything is cured. But what I put on tonight, I can erase that back, so it won't go back to the pure white of the panel, but it'll go back to whatever was there. So watch, if I go back into here with the alcohol, see, I can cut back. Let me come up here. See what I mean? I can cut back in. Now that's not going back to pure white. That's going back to what I started the panel at today because everything had cured. So you still can get the effect. Like looking here, everything I put on tonight, I can erase back. And it's only going to erase back to what was underneath it. So see how that stuff is pretty white? What's next to it is actually darker. It's a little hard to see in the camera, but if you've never been there, it is an experience. Spend a lot of nights there, a lot of time. Got a bunch of friends who live there, and I don't know how they live there. I mean, I know what they say is they don't go into the casinos when we're not there. They only come into the city when we're all there. The rest of the time, they stay away. Just like me, I grew up next to Salem, Massachusetts. Oh, you must have gone to the witch stuff all the time. The only time I went to the witch stuff is on a grade school trip, or when friends came into town and you'd never been and wanted to go see it. So like I said, I'm still working in the mids. I'm actually going to bring in a little bit of... I'm going to bring some yellows in, too, and maybe a little bit of red. Very sparingly, but I'm just kind of warming that purple up with the orange. Are they just suction cups or suckers? I figured there's got to be a scientific term for it. Could ask my daughter, the bio major, she would know. I got to get Kaylee up here for one of these feeds, too, because she hasn't been on in so long. Yeah, there's a 23-letter word for That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm glad we did the orange. A lot of people suggested the orange, and it was definitely in my head to do it, especially looking at a bunch of references. I can go over the desert sites. Yeah, man, the desert's great. I've done the drive a few times. I remember I was out teaching at the rendezvous when we started doing the rendezvous and the getaways, which we were released from because we started the rendezvous. I was going on the same weekend in Vegas, and then my wife was coming out for a conference in Vegas, so I ended up leaving California and driving from California to Vegas, and then flew home from Vegas instead of flying back from California. So I've done that drive. That's a nice drive, going from Cali through the mountains and then through. It's a really good time. We don't need to get all technical. No, but it's fun. I remember when we did the flowers. The what's it called? The stamen term would always come up. Because I would say, "Oh, these like seed things." You're like stamen. We got technical on some stuff here, which so this is for educational purposes too. So see right here, like that purple. When I go that orange over it, look, it's a nice like brown, like orangey brown, but it's still it's more towards a brown than towards an orange. So it does look cool. Just soft build, so I'm not losing the purple, but it's starting to really, really look cool. Let's take just a little drop. I'm going to take a little bit of red, and I'm going to take like a drop of purple and see what we get into here. There we go. So now, see, it's a nice, like a reddish burnt. A little bit of red, drop of purple, and now I can come in. We're going to reduce this down a little bit more. Oh, I dropped it. Orange, you glad we suggested orange? They're just called suckers. So now I can go in, I can start hitting these, getting a little red in there, because the red's going to be a nicer transition to the purple. See what I mean? It stays warmer and warmer. It really, if enough people do this, and maybe we'll do like a submission kind of thing, like anyone downloads it, you can send pics in, we can kind of go over it and do like a review and kind of go, we could definitely maybe do something like that on the channel or in the members only channel. Oh, speaking of members, I haven't done my shout out to all my Down Dirty Tricksters. Thank you so much for all the support. And obviously, that gets you the discounts off everything in the store, all the downloads, including this one. So thank you for all the support, guys. Really appreciate it. And that's where the store is. That's where you join. Yeah. And like I said, that was the reference image. Let's go a little more sideways. And yeah, they are very intelligent creatures. And just like their skin and the colors and what they can do with it is just so cool. So the red acts as a nice bridge. You don't need a lot of it. But see, the red will make the purple a bit more purple, and it'll blend nicely to the orange. You could even pull in like a magenta. The yellow I'm going to be really careful on. Michael, you're welcome, man. Yeah, I love doing them. Let's see. So, where are the beverages? Oh, how are the beverages across the pond? Really good, man. We had some really good beer. Some. What was the Bitburger? Bitburger? Yeah, it was one of them. They had one called Hell. That was really good. And Mr. Rod Fuchs, working with him and hanging out with him was always a blast. And him for the first night we were there 5 nights, so 5 days, 5 schnitzels, 5 different restaurants. So that was great. I looked it up. Acetabula pleural. These are the complex muscular structures, the 2 main parts of hearing. Thank you. It's awesome. America looked it up. Educational for called suckers. So, but now using the red, look, I can get that nice core. Use a core shadow because it makes the purple darker. This is why transparent is so important. Because you get those nice bridges of color. Because going from orange to red to purple is a nicer transition. Orange over purple gets you a little brown, but orange, red, purple gets you a smoother transition. Ah, man, I have quite a few different types. My favorite bourbon these days, so my favorite rye is Whistle Pig. That's one of my favorite ryes. My favorite bourbon, I really like for on the cheaper daily drivers. I like Four Roses. I like a Makers. I've liked some Tin Cup lately. Obviously, for the really expensive stuff, Pappy is always a fun one to get in when you can swing for the fences and break out the wallet. The blackened, which I thought was going to be like a fatty kind of just gimmicky thing. That's the Metallica one. Like the story's funny because it's aged in a black warehouse, no lights, playing different playlists depending on the bottle number. It had a different playlist, which is fun. But the flavor's really good on it. But I'm open to suggestions. I'm always looking to try new ones. Okay. Need to get some bigger spots up in here. Got a lot to do in this forehead before I get to the purple. See, I'm really just punching, and I'm not really afraid to just mess around with it. Just, my big thing is I'm making sure I keep the reds off this. It was just for grins and giggles. What animal is called a whistle pig? Oh, it's a I just found out that bourbon can cost. Yeah, yeah. I was at one particular person's house where we had one that Garrison Brothers. Yeah, I've had that. That's really good. Um, I was at someone's house, and I won't say who it was. He's got a very great collection. And someone had gifted him this one bottle. Big wooden case. You open up, it's like a big compass. The bottle spins like a compass. And I looked it up, and it was like, I think it was like $4,800 a bottle or something like that. But yeah, I've rolled a few whistle pigs one time. Yeah, whistle pigs. Yeah, with groundhogs. Yeah. Like this membrane here, we're gonna get some white into it to kind of make it feel a little more transparent, like in here. I'm really just kind of setting stuff up because I want to get into the purple soon and then start doing some highlighting. Like this is the fun stage. So for those who watched last week, part 1, that was all structure. That was all structure to give you everything you need to do whatever color, whatever texture. I'm just staying loose and having fun here. It's got this really fiery kind of glow to it. I'm really digging the orange to purple. Not trying to be afraid. Yeah, well, the $900 one's kind of the cheaper one. They get up to the really expensive ones, like 3,000-4,000 for Pappy. And from what I'm told, I don't know if you guys own some bars and the cigar lounges, and the really rarer ones, they're only allowed one bottle per year. So they have to let that bottle like last for all their really good customers, and it'll be up to like $250 to $350 a glass, a shot of that. So I learned that we only rent bourbon, so don't get crazy. Yeah, I love the colors of this piece too. It's one thing um, about Mike. Mike LaValle he was not afraid of color, man. He embraced throwing random colors at something, and he just understood it so well. And sometimes I admit I get scared to like take a risk of color, especially these live feeds, because like, if I go the wrong way, it's gonna look bad, and I don't have time to fix it. And let's just do a monochromatic like tone. And that was the point of the original one. Was I just stayed kind of safe in the blue on blues, but that was for a 4-hour class, so I had to kind of keep it on the safer side so it was obtainable. But yeah, I really like the way this orange is popping. I'm gonna last. Yeah, the whole bottle's gonna last me a lifetime. I know. It's like if you go to certain bars, they'll have what is it, Louis the Fifth, or Louis, a bottle of Louis. They're like 2,500 to 4,000 for a bottle. And I think they're $250 a shot. And I think the bottle itself is worth like 800 to 1,000 of it because it's a hand blown Waterford crystal bottle. And the way a lot of bars do it, if you drink the last few, a lot of guys wait for it. A lot of times you'll get to keep you can keep the bottle. I want this tip to be mostly orange, so I'm going to go in freehand a bunch of little like veiny textures. Of this reddish orange. But notice, like, I'm not making every single sucker like perfect. It's just representative. Um, but we can go back in and like highlight with the eraser because I don't want to use. I'm going to use white eventually, but I want the white to be more for subtle. Like I said, how much time do you want to spend here? Like you're getting 500 1,000 for this piece on a motorcycle, or you getting 1,000 to 1,500 to like 3,000. Okay, well, that's when you decide how much time you want to spend on details. Oh, that's a good thing. That's 36 cases of beer. Just gonna go through and highlight. Because remember, erasing works best when the paint's light. Because I can bring out these nice highlights here. And obviously, you could just use an eraser stick if you don't have one of these as well. You can take these for different details and get in and just use an eraser stick. Whatever your preference is. These can be nice for like the webbing. Because I can go really soft and do a nice drag. See that? Now it starts to look kind of like semi-transparent. And then when I blend the white over it, it's going to look really nice. Come up in here, we can kind of... Hey Ron, what's going on? What was the name of the new drawing app? Oh, so the one I was using in Germany, which I'm gonna, if it works as good as it did when I was over there, it could get me to give up Photoshop and Illustrator. But that was Affinity Designer. It's free and it's really good. I think the only paid version is on the iPad, but the computer one, from what I can see, is really free. Yeah, yep. The Wilford Brimley voice. Yep. So like 45 minutes of just kind of shading and just messing around with some details. We really got a lot of life in this. I think this one is definitely going to have to be a gloss clear. The other one, the matte clear, worked good. But I think with this color pop, I think this one needs to go glossy. Michael Cohen! Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I know everything's a lot tighter these days. I really do appreciate it. When should I gloss clear versus matte? It's preference. It's really preference. So I always gloss clear anyway first before I do matte because matte clears don't build heavy. If you build them too thick, they get cloudy. So if I got a lot of edges, something, or it's really textured surface, I want to do a gloss clear first, and I can kind of look at it from there. So I like gloss clears over more like realistic things usually. When I want the colors to be, when I want it to, I don't want the pop. I want it to look a little bit more naturalistic. It's just preference. Like I did the Black Widow. I did the Black Widow piece here. That one is matte now, and but the other one on red with the dark red candy background is gloss. It looks better in gloss. The one with the white background, I just like it better flat. So it's really about preference on that. And it's underwater, it needs to be gloss. Let's see what this looks like at a different angle. So you can see that angle. Let's go to the you can kind of go to the 2-shot and see what we got here. Zoom in a little. All right. So that color's a little darker, you see, than the original. This was the original orange mix. And then I added a little bit of red and a drop of purple to get that color. And that's a nice color. I'm going to save that. Exactly. Yes. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that. So let's get some more people watching here. We got 37 in here now, which is great. And Erasure used the members icons. I got to make some new fun icons to use. All right. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to do a little bit of the cerulean blue before I go to the purple. So this was the cerulean blue I started with last week when I did the water. So I'm going to hit some of it up in here. I need just a little bit of that blue. So that way, like the water light reflection is getting a little bit blue. Not a lot. Just to give it a little something. Not too much, because that's, the blue over the orange does get a little meh. But that's going to tone it just a hair. Yeah, just very little bit. That's it. Yeah, just a little subtlety to the blue. But again, it's for everyone, who's learning. That's why you keep your paint thin. You can really. Okay, so now I've already done the purple, but we're gonna give it one more strain. Actually, see that white? That was for mixing up white earlier. That came out of the bottle. That's why straining is important. So I'm going to strain a little purple into here, just to be sure. And now we can really start with this purple. And this is where we start kind of freehanding things more. And start making things darker. So watch, I'm going to cut in here, get some nice texture in here. Inside that kind of skull nose. See how fast this starts to come to shape? I can put some little veins and just go around some of that purple. Gonna hit here. What's an image that you don't like to paint or struggle with? That's a good question. It changes sometimes. I used to really hate doing like dream catcher art and that kind of folky stuff. I never liked it. I never was enjoy painting it. Really didn't like doing that stuff. I don't know. Very few things I dislike. Like, well, I'll say no to painting, unless it's like, you know, like racist stuff and things like that. I've been asked to do some pretty weird stuff over the years that I've just flat out said no to because it's just not what I want to do. Like I had to ask one for like a pro World War II bike, and it was pro. I don't even want to say it because it'll probably get me demonetized. So things like that, you stay away from. No, man, you can totally do realism. Realism is a lot of technique more than like creation, because realism is nice because you already have it there in front of you. Okay, so when you learn the techniques, like Drew Blair's class, you take his classes in programs, you can do realism. Just because those techniques are so solid, if you step by step through it and really work with the reference, you can do it. When you're working with this, when you're not comparing to anything, is a little different, and in my opinion, a little bit more difficult. It's not difficulty like it's a challenge type of thing. It's just you have to make stuff up. You don't have a cushion or anything to go by. And sometimes when I do these, I know it's going to work because I painted it before. But like this color combo I've never done before, so I don't know how this is going to work. That gets a little harder. But realism, you can really learn technique and structure and how to copy that photo reference and work with different masks and structures. And you can totally do it, man. I stayed away from realism for a while. I don't do a lot of it, but through learning techniques and watching guys like Drew and Marissa, and understanding the techniques that go with it, you can totally do it. See how just by softening up this eye, freehanding into it, and adding more to here, that orange, now it got rid of that kind of stencily look. And do some like nice thin veins. Paint's running nice and smooth. I like the tattoo-like images. Yeah, man. So, that's what I like too. Like right here, look, I got the paint nice and thin. I'm at about 25 psi, and I can just go in. All that texture I did I can just go in and start adding more of it. And really just giving it life. You can really see how it's coming along. And I'm still only an hour into it from where we started. And I can come back even here in the orange. And see now, look, when I want this here to almost look black, but I'm not using black because I'm over that burnt orange, it starts looking like a natural shadow. You see that? Let me switch to the main camera. So watch right here. I'm gonna do this right here along this edge. And this is the same purple. And if you look at it, it's purple. But when I go over the dark burnt orange, it starts to almost look like a black, but it's not. Yeah, and you stay in exactly. You stay in a structured plan. You concentrate in color, tone, shape, and you work from the reference. You work with from what you see, not what you think you see. You know, it's the whole right brain, left brain process. So when I'm doing this, I'm seeing it in my head. Okay, when I first started doing portraits or realism, I wasn't really good at looking at the photo. I would look at it, but I would still paint what I thought I saw, not what I actually saw. And I think that's a big key to achieving really good realism, is painting what you're actually seeing. And by doing that and learning that technique, when you go back to paint things that aren't real, you start pulling from that realism process and technique and understanding color and texture and how this color over that does this, and it all works together. That's why I've always said learn as many techniques, there's many approaches. None of them are wrong. None of them are end all be all. There are some people, and it's usually beginners who kind of get hung up on one style and say that's the only way to do things. Where people get like so boxed into like you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way, or it's not art. Once you start doing that, you're really missing the boat. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then kind of mix your own style into it, and that's where you start coming up with originals. You know, the only thing about realism, and people do it, but it's hard to put your own spin on realism if you go in for photorealism. So what I do a lot, like when I'm doing stuff like this, I look at realistic octopus, and borrow shapes and how things play off each other and how they work off each other. And, see how that works, and then mix that with my own style. Now, if you have trouble freehand, like what I'm doing here, okay, if you have trouble doing what I just did there, and you want to do this here and kind of come off of it, this is where you can go back to your paper. Okay, so if I go back to this here, this is this was based on the masking we did. Yeah, I'm the same. But it's one of those things too. Learn the full photorealism and then learn how to break it. Okay, so I want to make this all darker. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, because my paper printout lines up with my plot file from earlier. And if you didn't plot it, if you went just off the paper cut, it would definitely line up. So this is the nice thing about this technique I've been doing for decades now, was I make sure my print reference is sized exactly to my plot, so I get the best of both techniques. Yeah, I come up here. Actually, I can come like this too. Ooh! Just put a little cut in the middle. Wasn't paying attention. Now that'll clear over just fine. Get you here. And we'll just, I'm just going to cut across like that. There we go. Okay. So now, I've learned so many things over the years from everyone. Like Scott, you're right. And that's the thing, man. All these techniques are all just someone's way of interpreting and doing it. I've never tried to pretend that my way is the way or the only way to do it. And there are artists out there that do that. And they don't really, a lot of those, a few of them do, but a lot of those don't last very long if they have too rigid of approach. See how by doing that, I could really I could carve this out. And I could get really dark back here and push that back. And now I can pull in here some texture. You're fired. Pinstriping is its totally own thing to learn. And that's one of my weakest areas, honestly. Is pinstriping is definitely a weak area for me. I can get away with it if I have to, but I got to clear it and sand it and work over it because I make too many mistakes. But I have friends that they come in, walk in off the street, pick up a brush, and they can just go. It's perfect. That is definitely my weak spot. Yeah, that made it pop really nice. So what I want to do is I want to get this tentacle to pop. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to utilize that to get a nice crisp. Do you need to do this? No. But, well, you got it. Oops. There's a benefit to using it. I missed my rounding. Oh! Did I miss? Ah! Thank you, Gary. Gary, we are at a 400 bid. I need to get... Yeah, dude, everything is just... Why are my glasses all weird tonight? Sorry. Everything is a practice. Everything is a technique. There's a million of them. That's why I love this hobby, this business. It's why I got into the tabletop and mini stuff, too. It's been a new world for me to learn a new technique that's really fun and interesting. And I'm going to go flyby for Gary. We're hitting all the buttons. And then what I did today. Bam! With my tire. Oh, TX is raising the bar. That's what we like. That's what we like. Caddy needs a new set of tires. That covers a little over one of them. You know what's horrible when I get so aggravated when I got to buy tires? I worked in the tire industry for years. That's why I used to sell tires. I used to run NTWs and Sears Automotives. I was, store manager, assistant manager, BDM, outside sales. So I always got tires at discounts and rates. I always knew someone. Now I got to pay full retail, and it drives me up a wall to pay retail for tires. It kills me. So I just had to order 2 of those. So I blew one, and then my tires were pretty low, so I got to order 2 of them because I always replace tires in pairs. I know a lot of people think that's a selling technique, but it really does make a difference, especially on all-wheel drive vehicles. You should really do them in quads, but you can do them in pairs in most cases. When they're pretty new, you can get away with one, but when they're that old, you got to replace them in pairs. So I think the cheapest price I found on the tires was like $325 for the tire, and then you obviously got to have the install and everything. So 2 tires was an expensive day at the gas station. Just bought 2 sets of tires. Why was so sorry? Yeah, it's. Oh, so my daily it's getting older. It's a 2019 Volvo XC90 R Design Polestar. With Polestar race tuning. So it's a sleeper. It's a grocery getter with a lot of horsepower. And it runs 22s, so everything's expensive. And the way those cars are, it's a supercharged and turbocharged. Almost 3K for 8. Oh, yeah. I really want to build a show car again someday. I do miss my Magnum. My Magnum was fun, and I see it every few weeks behind a body shop sitting there rotting away because it got damaged, and the person who bought it. Yeah, it's sad. I happily wants to go rescue it and buy it back and fix it, but that's one of those it's like going back for one of your old exes. There's nothing good's gonna come of it. Nothing good would come of that process. So we're just not gonna do it. But I would like to build another Magnum one day, so that's on my list. All right, I want to get some big texture under here. So I'm gonna do this. I'm going to take Mr. Mathewson's. I'm going to do this. This really big one there. Big one there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my Magnum was fun. That was the first car I ever fully built from, everything. Wheels, tires, suspension, stereo, air, ridiculous paint, customized the wheels. I did everything to that car. Minor motor work, nothing big motor work in it. Didn't need it. It was already a RT 5.7 Hemi all-wheel drive, so it didn't really need much to go. Okay. I'm going to get some texture up in here. Like I said, this thing, whoever ends up getting this, you know, and what was it? TX, which I just, I don't think you've bought one for me before. Once I get up into this range of bids and I'm paying like this, I always spend a good, half an hour on this after. And sometimes I clear it, add some more details, and then do another clear session. So these become a lot of work after. So you get a lot more time in it than just the feed. Just so you know. And if you need my socials, for those who need my socials, it's right here. So Instagram and Facebook is the best place to message me after this. Or it's thinairgraphics@gmail.com. But like, see this stuff here, this is where, you know, I could just, you can noodle around forever. And this is where, if customers are real, you know what? Man, you can hide all sorts of weird phrases and stuff. Not that I've ever would condone that or ever do that. Just saying, you could do that if one was so inclined to have a real, you know what, client that, you know, only you and the people you tell could find hidden said phrases and thoughts. Again, not that I've ever done that. But I knew no guy. Oh, we are at 5. My chat stopped on my... See, we haven't done bids in a while, and that's kind of the good thing about taking bids off the table for a bit and doing them on really cool projects or really, you know, something different. I have to just reset my screen here. Give me 1 second so I can... My teleprompter screen stops after a while sometimes. It's really annoying. There we go. There we go. Now it's back. What do you mean what happened to Leahy? Is Leahy still here? He might be past his bedtime. Well, he's an hour less from here. But Warlock, what's going on, man? Welcome. And so even this stage, I'm still in the mids. Like, I'm still going to darken this purple out and really carve in the final details in a little bit. Or something, you know, final for the feed. But it really comes down to how much, you know, how much do I want to spend here? Like, what's the budget? What's the bid? Am I going to, you know, is it worth me to spend another hour or two afterwards? You know, as much as I'm about the art, you know, I am about getting paid. And that's a hard balance for artists too. I know a lot of artists, and I've done it before, where you get so into a project you forget how much time you're on it, and you blow the budget, and you still keep going, and then that robs from the next job, and it's really easy to get behind, and we've all done it. Thank you, Warlock. And it's a constant battle, especially on the creative non-realism pieces, because you don't know when it's done. When you're doing realism or you're doing automotive graphics, like the black and gray, the gold gray one I did a couple weeks ago, you know when you're done. It's all clean, it's all done, everything's lined up, everything's where it's supposed to be. You know, time to go. When you're doing realism, when it's done, you know it's done for the most part. When you're doing stuff like this, you don't really know when it's done. It's done when you feel it's done. But sometimes when you feel it's done, you're underwater financially on it, but you just can't stop yourself either. So yeah, it's really tough. Just multitasking, awesome. To show someone, you know, dude, Brian, I'm going to tell you right now. Um, where are we? I have all these paintings here. Not all of them are sold. Some do, some don't. I got stacks downstairs. I got old stacks of paintings, like in my basement. That just, I should do a discount bin at some point. It comes though, man. It's enjoy. Hey, if you're doing this as a hobby to get good, enjoy that you don't make your living at it. I know it is kind of true. You do lose some of the enjoyment when it becomes the business. I definitely need some more reds down there at some point. I love the underpainting comic book graphic novel look. It forces you to stop and not overcomplicate. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm gonna get some of these. And that's gonna need some white. I can't erase through a lot of that, so. Just trying to get free paint. I think it's funny at this point. Yep. Beep, 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 beep. Be interesting in buying a panel from me. There you go. The other thing, Brian, too, eventually is, you can start swapping with the artists. That's always a fun one to do. Or you go to panel jams, like find one. There's not a lot of panel jams in the airbrush world. Pinstriping world, there's a lot of them. I'd love to go to it. There's a big one. There's Iwata panel jam coming up in Oregon in kind of gallery like show. So if you're anywhere in Oregon, next end of the month, I think it's the 30th, 31st. Man, go to that because that's going to be great. And there's going to be a lot of work for sale there because artists are going to be allowed. I just don't. I can't go. I got too much going on, and I've been traveling so much. I just can't make that event. And I really wanted to because it's going to be really cool. But okay, we're at 20 past. I want to start getting into the wrap-up stage on this. Get off my lawn, Barker. Now we'll see. One day maybe I'll throw up some old panels. I gotta just throw up. I have so many live fee panels that I didn't sell or that I want to unload. And some of my bigger paintings I want to unload. I gotta just put them on my website. I just haven't had the time. And I should. Alright, I'm gonna take this orange. I wanna blend out some of this. Like, this is a painting, man, I would love to put, like, you know, another 10 to 20 hours in this painting as like a painting, you know, but it starts to become like a, you know, $2,000-3,000 painting pretty fast when you do that. And, you know, it's hard for a lot of people to justify spending that on a 12 by 18 panel, but the work's just there, you know, so that's why I don't go too many of them. But like on a bike, we've done these things like that. And, all right, let's see. Let's break out. Oh, hold on. Okay, so purple. I'm going to take my black here. And I'm going to put a couple drops of black in this. Hopefully not too much. Let's see what that does. I'm just going to hit. So now we got. So I took that purple that I was using, added a little bit of black to it. And see, that's the color I have now. Okay. I know, Brian, we talked about this a lot about not going to straight black. This is what I do. So I added like 8 drops or so of black to my purple. And now I'm going to go in and watch what this does here. So now it almost looks like black. And on camera it probably does. But it's a lot more subtle. See how it pushes the darkness back? But it still blends into the color. Okay, so that looks black. If I put black there, it would just be dead. It'd be no life in it. Pure black kills everything. See again right there, how that just really works it. And here we go. Up here, get that. Almost looks black. Now we're going to take stencil here, and I'm going to basically do a shadow, like the eyelids cast a shadow over, like this. And we're just going to kiss it just a little bit. Just that little bit there. So see that eye to this eye? Okay, see, it's just pushing that back. Not too much. And do the same thing. We're going to go back to this. Push that back. I'm not going to unmask this border tonight. I'll do it afterwards. So whoever buys this, which right now Gary's at 5, once I get this done and unmask, I'll let the person decide on the pinstripe color. Because I want the pinstripe to go in and under and back out, and so it really gives a dimensional effect. And that's going to be a whole another video to do all that. And I'll record some of that process and put it up at some point. But I don't think it's gonna warrant another video for that. Alright. So I get this darker stage, push my darks, and then I want to get some white going. Because right now it's a lot of rinse and repeat. So if you're following along this project, this is where I can't teach you much more other than I'm going to keep working this stage. I'm going to put some highlights on and push and pull to where you like it. Yeah, Brian, I appreciate that. But in the same token, it never looks perfect. I can find in every flaw and mistake and complain and don't like this and don't like that. And yeah, but look at that. And we all do it. That never goes away. And actually, I think I'd be worried as a creative if that attitude does go away. Like, oh, I'm always great. It's always good. So don't ever lose that part of it because of what keeps you doing good work. Hey, Mr. Leahy, what are you working on? I saw the Vader. I don't know. Did you finish the Vader? I saw you start it. I saw mid. I popped in. I lurked a little bit. But I don't know if you finished it this week. I've been crazy this week. It took me a while to recoup from getting back from Germany, actually. More than I thought. I thought I was going to be able to get that pretty easy. But no. So I'm going to get to this stage. I'm going to add some more red. But I want to get some white in here now. So again, I'm going to save this color. Because I still save that red from before. And even I can push that in a little bit. Do you step back and look at the areas? Oh, yeah. All the time. You know, I don't do it when I'm doing live feeds a lot. I mean, I'm doing it, but you can't really see it. But that's kind of the point of I always do more work after the feed. Because you step back a little bit, you kind of squint and you look at the areas, like, I need a little more contrast there. Like, I know I need some more contrast here. And that's why I'm going to take this red. I need to push this. Like, so this and this are kind of monotone. It's not really there. So I want that tentacle to make sure it goes under here. I want to get a little bit more texture here. I want to get a little bit more here and really start to push this one back. You see how just that little bit, by pushing this back, this one jumped. Now right here, same thing. These are the same tone, right? So if I come in here like this, I start pushing that back, and I start pushing this one back. Now this one starts to go under more. And it's a balance. So yeah, the squinting and stepping away. And when you're frustrated as an artist, walk away from the project, give it a once over, come back to it a few hours later, see what it looks like. And with me, like, watch, so like different camera angles, it kind of looks different. So like from that side, from a distance, it's, you see that. From this side, it looks one way. And obviously these cameras are lit different, so you kind of just get a look for it. Yeah, no, this is a really cool color tone you do see in Octopus. I want to bring this red into here, kind of sweep that in together. And let's try. All artists do that. Yeah, we are our worst critics. And that's the hard part about in business. You got to know when to stop. You got to make sure you deliver the goods, but you got to know when to stop. And don't torture yourself because it's really easy to do that too. All right, so here's some yellow. No, I don't like this yellow. It's not opaque enough. It's going a little green, so I'm not going to use this. That could be that needs to be. This yellow is pretty thin, so it needs to be more opaque. So I'm not going to do that. Don't forget, if someone's interested in the original one, the test one, this was the first one. This one's up for $250. Okay, let's get some white in here. Let's do some highlighting. Do some bubbles. Step back for a week for alligator piece. Yeah, no, sometimes, like, I started this last week, and I come back to it, and I look at it a different way. There we go. So watch. Now we start bringing in the white. So watch it here. I'll take this. And highlight that. See what that just did? Watch up here on the forehead. The eyebrows. Really starts to give this life. I'm going to hit a bright highlight right here. I'm going to find a part of the stencil that kind of curves the right direction. There we go. See, this stuff really just starts to add to it. Like that just popped it right off. Let's get the nose. A little bit here, a little bit here. No, so right now, this is using Wicked. A mix of Wicked Opaques and the Wicked Details. Oh, the blue is illustration color, and that was mixed with 4050 for the hard surface. But see, this really starts to bring it together. Right under the eye here, we need some texture. Start hitting some of these guys here. Then we got to do some bubbles. Let's thin this out. Yeah, that's really, like, right here, this just looks great. And again, I could spend hours more here. Gotta do bubbles. Gotta have bubbles. I was gonna ask about bubbles. Yep, gotta have bubbles, man. Can't do an underwater painting without bubbles. And the best bubbles in the biz is definitely Dennis Mathewson. I was chatting with him the other night. It's always good to catch up with Dennis. Very fortunate to have gotten to work with him over the years and become good friends. And huge influence on my paintings. Take this and we'll do a little reflection on some bubbles. Again, I could spend an hour just on bubbles. Any reason you use different paint for the background? I liked the so I was at 69. So Createx illustration and Createx and Wicked work well together. The illustration colors are more transparent and they stay workable longer, and they're a finer grain. So I like the subtlety of that blue tone for that cerulean blue. So that's only areas to use it. And because I'm on a hard surface like this, I add a little 40-50 to it so it becomes a more durable. The illustration colors by itself will still stick to the hard surface, but it stays open a long time and they get pretty scratchy. So by adding the 40-50, it makes it into like a polyurethane. It's really just color and tone. No specific reason, other than I just like the way that particular color lays for certain things. All right, so let's do, I want to have a light ray coming down here. Just lift it off the surface a little bit. Just so that light's coming down. Really subtle though. Maybe we'll take one of my swirl stencils here. Just give a little bit of swirl. I got this white. This is an opaque white, but it's really thinned down. Should airbrush a whistle pig. Yeah, could do that. Get some bubbles over here. Gary, be interesting because I think Gary, if I didn't miss it, Gary's still the high bidder on this at 5. Gary has one of my first live paintings of an Octopus Skull from, I don't even know what year that's from. Skullified whistle pig. I could never do the whistle like old man voice, like when they whistle at the end of every like syllable. I wish I could. Okay. In here, I want this membrane to be kind of ghosty, so I'm going to hit it like that, and that starts to give that transparency. And here, same thing. I want a lot of light right here. I want it brighter. Give that some lift. Give the nose. Yeah, that one's monochromatic. That's done in like just black and blues, if I remember right. 2016, 2014. Yeah, that sounds about right. And right now, if you guys who are following along, this is a stage you just keep going. White details, maybe more texture. Like Gary asked, step back, look at it. Where do I need more contrast? Where do I need more pop? That's really what you want to be doing at this point, is just overall looking at that piece. Now, TX is just up that at 550. Yeah, that was your first. And really just sit here and play around. I'm going to keep playing around with this. Man, I'm so bad at my stencil management. There we go. Do the brighter areas get more details? Well, the brighter areas are the more focal details, but you want to do less of them. You know what I mean? So you want to be more sparing with it and really get the pop. You know what I mean? I don't want them everywhere. And that's a hard question to answer, because it's really a balance. Like, where do I want to draw your eye to? Like, what's important? Where does it need a subtle pop? And just you keep working it and working it. Like, so I want this piece to be like this membrane here. So, like, I'm just noticing it. I'm going to hit that here like this and tone that back. And now it starts to give it a little bit more life. I think right here, it's a little too white right there. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. This is where I talk about balancing. Yeah, like Gary said about, that's that. I'm going to step back. Like, I know I need a little something somewhere else. Go here. I'm going to go here like this. And watch. So I'm going to go like that. And I can come here. And I want to take this orange right now And I want to get rid of that bright white that was right there because it was a little too white. So I can tone that back up. We're almost at my new set of tires. Gary is at 6. So Hobby Lobby still has Createx, but they're selling some cheaper ass paint now. Yeah, they stopped selling Iwata. They raced to the bottom for the cheap stuff, but it's Hobby Lobby. You know, you didn't expect too much, but they still have it. But I do know that Michaels, Iwata's been doing a test at Michaels for a while, and it's going really good. So I think Michaels is going to be a good source for Iwata stuff, and I think they still sell Createx, but that might go hand in hand too. I don't know. All right, so there's that red. Let me get some red in here and pop that. See that? Now, by doing that, that pops us forward. Someday, I would love to hand deliver a piece. Maybe someday it'll happen. I do got to get where Gary would be definitely one I would like to hand deliver something to at some point. And I definitely, at that point, if I go to Pennsylvania, I would love to go to the Frazetta Museum. So that's on my short bucket list as well. All right. We're here. So now again, see, I'm using the paper to go here, get that in place, get it into position. Now I got this one. Yeah, and Michael's is going to be having a lot more. Yeah, Hobby Lobby was a big supporter, and they just went, they can't not, because that Temu stuff they're using now is so cheap for Hobby Lobby to buy that they don't care. They'll just get the margins at that point. That's all they care about is the margins. So they're going to get it one way or the other. So Michaels, they did a test for the past year at select, like some of the bigger Michaels, like the higher volume ones. And from what I gather, that went pretty well. And now more Michaels, or all Michaels, are going to be carrying them soon. So yeah, so that's coming. And I love it here. Like, so where I live, my tabletop, the Warhammer gaming store I get all my stuff from, they just became an Iwata dealer. So that's, and the New Worlds paint, which is great for me because now it's local. I taught a class there a couple weeks ago, which was really cool. It's really cool to go local and do stuff like that. Like my next town over where I hang out at that store was cool to go teach. See, no, same thing. This is the. Sorry, talking with a knife in my mouth. So this is the great part about this. Now I can go like this. I can set this up. You know what? Let's get these big magnets here. Which again, yes, I am an aluminum, but if the magnets are strong enough, they're gonna go. Oh, Zaz in 69? Of course, it's already on reserve. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't think they're discontinuing Createx. But I know they're carrying some, like, it's just called airbrush paint, which I'm pretty sure is that whatever it is, the Galari stuff. I forget. I don't even want to say the name of the stuff to give him any credit. Okay, so see now that little bit, it just pushed that around more. Yes, the new orcs look awesome. So, for those who don't know, Zaz in 69 is also a Warhammer geek like me. I did like the new orcs so much. I did have to get this guy because he's just awesome. And I had to get that guy. But this one, I'm thinking instead of, because they have hot rod flames on this, which is cool. But I'm thinking when I paint this, I'm going to do like realistic fire on him. So I think that'll be cool. Yeah, I got that. I got the Red Death box set on order for the new kill team. Yeah, I saw cheaper airbrush paints. I tried them. Not a fan. Yeah, no, they're crap. You might not. No, they carry like some of the illustrations. They carry some wickeds, just a little bit of stuff, but it's enough to keep you going. I'm gonna wash this purple. Oh, here, just really starting to get dynamic now. Get that nice pop between the orange and the purple. Really coming together. I don't know what I've been painting up. I don't have any Necrons. Nope. That's one thing. I almost got that new. Was it the like the Harbinger or the Bringer Night? That new one, that like Grim Reaper looking one. Really wanted to get that one, but I had a feeling if I got that one now, I'm going to start getting another army. My biggest army is Tyranids. I got well over 2,500 points worth of them. But I was saying earlier, Zazin, this year, it's pretty much confirmed. I'm going to be going to LVO, which is the Las Vegas Open, and we're going to be teaching some workshops there. So I just got that call. And I'm hoping to go down to Verko's Vault and check that out on there. So yeah, it's just glazing and pulling things together. I had to pick up Soldier Boy Sculpt. Oh yeah. I should download that. That's a good one. And I love if any of you guys here paint model figures or statues, look up Battleground, right? Warlock? It's Battleground. Oh, am I messing that up? His channel's awesome. And he's a riot to watch. So I'm just pushing things back and toning them. I really love this area. Yeah, so Zizek makes the model, I think, right? But the channel that was painting it was Battleground. Some darker texture already here. And just see, it's really just about playing with more stuff at this point. Oh, Ground Affected. Yeah. Ground Affected Studio. Ground Affected. His channel's awesome. But yeah, so Zazin, yeah, I'm gonna plan on LVO coming in October. Jonathan places near me. Yep, you get Spray Gunner. Yeah, for the big stuff, Spray Gunner and Coast Airbrush are your two best places to get everything. just because they carry the right brands, they support the industry. Yeah, ground effective. If you guys want to look at a funny, he's awesome. His model figure painting is amazing. Check out ground affected. He is your dad. This channel's great. Fun channel. No, I've avoided it. I've almost pulled the trigger on that because I was at Adepticon this year, and the Trench Crusade booth was awesome. And then it was also StarCraft. They had the StarCraft release, and I had it in my hand, and I just stayed. I don't need another game. Like, I'm actually considering selling my Blood Bowl because I never played it. I've built them, I've primed them, but I've never finished them. Oh, Zero Places near you. Yep. So yeah, I almost got Trench Crusade. I got so many sculpts and like figures this year between Creature Caster, who I'm a big fan of. I've worked with them on some stuff. They supported my classes. I bought so many like cool like sculpts, and I'm going to be doing some stuff on that on this channel with tabletop gaming. But I also have another channel. I haven't really started anything yet. I kind of messed up on the channel, and I don't know if I'm going to start a new one or try to relaunch that one. But I don't know if the algorithm is going to really play well with kind of a channel that's I didn't start out well. But tabletop airbrush is my other channel I started. Yep, I got 3D resin printer. And that's where I did these guys. So this was my first class that we did at Adepticon. 3D printed these out of resin. And then this was me and Joe Otherberg taught these guys together. This guy here. And then this guy here. This was, if you go back like 2 videos, this was the Adepticon recap. I show this one. Does he have one? All right, I think we're the last minute. I think the last bid is still Gary, unless I missed something. If TX wants to get in, this is the time. Like I said, I'm not doing the border yet. Whoever wins it, they don't ship very well. Yeah, the resin ones are tough. When I do the model figures, the plastic ones, they're a lot better. And that particular one's really hard because it's so lanky. Need another pour. Where's my marker? TX just went 650. Time bid. Oh, we're at 675. Here we go. This is the final countdown. Now my tires are paid for. And don't forget, the second person can always grab this one for a discounted price if they want. Oh, Warlock's tracking the bid. Thank you, sir. Okay, we need a little bit more up here. Definitely need these guys, the little spiky bits to pop out a little more. And don't forget, whoever, if you want to redo this, this painting is downloadable. If you look at link in the description, you can download the vector for this and do your own version. Flip it around, stretch it, do different color tones, really play with it. We're gonna have to do the final countdown. The bid, we were after 10. We were after 10. I gotta get my beauty sleep a little bit. So we'll do. We're at 675 going once. $675 going twice. I gotta give it a sec because there is a delay. Yeah, big round bubble. $675 going 3 times. And we're gonna say 3. 30-second delay. Gotta double check when I see it. Hey, Barker. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you again. And we are going to say sold to Gary. We did the once, twice, 3 times. Thank you, Gary. Thank you for the bid. You can pick the striping. You can do it now if you want, or we can talk about it after. This is definitely going to be a gloss clear. For sure. And then we'll... TX, thank you for the bids as well. If you're interested in the original one, we can talk about that one. That's I can gloss clear it if we want as well, whatever that takes. But you can reach out to me afterwards if you're interested. But that is gonna be it. Just cause. What's going on? I really had a good time painting this. This has been a fun painting. Yeah, maybe a deep purple. Yeah, maybe I'll do a quick little Photoshop over it and have you have you pick from there and see what you want. Yeah, because it looks really cool. I got to shade a little bit more up in there. I want to separate this. Maybe do I have what color do I have in here now? Do it here. This shadow a little bit more here. Radius the drop shadow, so it looks like that tentacle's crossing over. Hours, man. I can spend hours here. Just playing around. Yeah, I'm glad this was a great feed. It's been one of my favorites so far this year for sure. My favorite in quite a while. The outcome's great. The color is super pop, which was really, really cool. And can I do? Where is it? Oh, I lost that. Oh well. Anyway, this is feed. Appreciate it. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thank you to all my members. Thank you to all my down dirty tricksters. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for watching these two feeds. It's a little over 4 hours of content. Thanks to everyone who downloaded the project. If you need any assistance or any help, let me know. Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, the highlights make a huge, huge difference. To just really, if when you go back watch the video, when I put this in and these really just popped it in the head. And because I didn't overwork it too soon, and we brought it up slow, it left room to do that and really pop it. So that's that less is more. Just let it come, even if it's looking a little flat. As you get and work through it, you can really start pulling together. So you step back and you say, oh, I can do a little bit more purple there and tone that. I can tone a little bit here and do this. Let's go here. There is a point where you got to watch out because you can go too far and then you go too dark too fast and you kind of blow it. So you got to kind of keep an eye on it. But if you work in light enough layers, you know what I'm going to do, because it's really ready to be pinstriped, I want to pull the border just so you guys can see the finished kind of framework, and then I can still detail in here, and then Gary can pick the striping color. But I just want you to see, the depth it gets when you pull the masking. And because of the way I did the piece, it's going to look like he's coming out of the frame. There we go. See, now that's given that three-dimensional look, and what I'll do is we'll pinstripe here and I'll drop shadow it then, so the pinstripe gets the drop shadow. And remember when I started this, the masking had this edge built into it. So basically, it really creates depth. Like, this tentacle is coming outside the frame, this one's going behind, this one's going out. coming back through and back inside, back under and around. It's a really cool looking piece. It's a really fun project to do. And, for those who are learning, you can do this project a dozen times and do it in so many different configurations, because here's the two side by side. This was the original one. This was about 2 hours of work, keeping it in like a similar color tone. And this is 4 to 5 hours of work, with multiple colors. So you can see the same design, spending more time, some more color, two different looks. I could do it again in green tones, and I actually have another started one. Maybe I'll do that in some different tones. So it really works. It's a great project to learn from. You can do it monochromatic, black and white. You can throw all sorts of colors at it and have some fun with it. So definitely a fun project to do. Do the download, mess around with it, and maybe I'll figure out, for everyone who downloads it and do it, like I said, we'll do like either a members only feed for you guys if you want, and we'll do like a comparison night. But anyone who downloads it works. And if you need some stuff, just hit me up on my socials, and if you got any questions on it or any issues. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've done a blue ring before. So, yeah, this one, and add blue rings to it could be really cool. Definitely something to do. So, thank you all for great interaction, great feed. I should be on next week. I don't see any reason why not. Come up with some new ideas. Throw some ideas in the comments. Throw them on Facebook, what you guys want to see. You get the members only like commentary. Let me know what you want to see next week. Give me some ideas, and we'll go from there. So have a great weekend, everyone.